Hey guys, I'm Metagrit. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to show you my Cyber Dragon Orcust Fiendsmith deck. And I want to show you guys this because I need help building it and making it better by making it more consistent and powerful for the upcoming YCSs and regionals that I want to attend. I want to play Cyber Dragon and I want to have success competitively with it in 2024, which is a lofty goal, which is why I need your help. So without any further ado, let's get into the profile. I'm playing 3 Cyber Dragon. This card is an excellent push when you go second. It's a great body to have on field, which is good for 2 reasons. You can normal summon your Orcust Hardcore and then use those 2 as link material, and then you have your Orcust engine turned on. You also can use them as link material for your Moon of the Closed Heaven, which turns on your Fiendsmith engine, right? So with just a Cyber Dragon and a Hardcore, you can use one of your opponent's monsters as fusion material for Mega Fleet. You can turn on your Fiendsmith engine, and you can turn on your Orcust engine. So yeah, Cyber Dragon is a really good push going second, and very hard to deal with because he doesn't activate. He just summons himself to the field, and then he doesn't activate to remove your opponent's monster from the EMZ. He just does it. So absolutely phenomenal card going second. Another phenomenal card going second is Cyber Dragon Core. You can normal summon this to get your plays going, but what I sometimes do is I just set it face down so that I can contact fuse using it in my opponent's monster in the EMZ, and then I go to the battle phase and ram into my opponent with my Mega Fleet Dragon so that I have no monsters on the field. So then I can go to main phase 2 to use Cyber Dragon Core's graveyard effect to special summon a Cyber Dragon from my deck, and that way I have my body on field and I got rid of my opponent's monster that was in the EMZ, and I'm not turning on cards like Droll and Lockbird at all. Otherwise, you could just lose the duel if you normal summon Cyber Dragon Core going second, and then your opponent lets it resolve, and then they Droll and Lockbird you, and then they remove this body from the field. It's like, wow, that really sucks. But if you set it face down, your opponent probably won't remove it from the field, and they probably don't know what you're playing yet, so you can just contact fuse away, and then oops, now your opponent goes -1, and then you go +1 because you get to special summon from your deck. So excellent way to play into boards going second. Once again, you do lose your normal summon that way though, which can hurt you depending on your hands. So it all just depends on the context. Cyber Dragon Hers is another card that can do the same thing that Core did. So again, if you're worried about what your opponent has on field and you don't want them to know what you're going to do with your cards, you can set this face down, contact fuse away, add Cyber Dragon to your hand, and then go into the battle phase and crash with your Mega Fleet. That way you can special summon your Cyber Dragon if you want to go for Cyber Dragon Nova or Infinity. So it all just depends on what your hand is, but a really good push going second and a really good discard off of their danger monsters, which we are playing in this deck, and of course off of Galaxy Soldier. 3 Naster because this card allows us to discard as cost to activate a card or effect, which means we can draw a card off of Necroquip. It also means that we can send any of our Orcust or danger monsters from our hand to the graveyard. This is really strong for turning on our engines and getting another body on field to go into the Fiendsmith engine. So obviously 3 Naster in this build specifically, maybe not in all Cyber Dragon decks though. 2 Galaxy Soldier for the combo. It's also just usually an easy body to summon to your field. 2 Fiendsmith Engraver. So we're playing 2 of this and 1 Synced. These are the best ratios for beating Droll and Lockbird. It's all you need to make Fiendsmith Engraver not a brick in your deck. So I wanted to make this a playable card if I saw it in my hand. I also just wanted the engine to be able to use any 2 bodies to beat cards like Nibiru, to beat cards like Droll and Lockbird. Speaking of beating Droll and Lockbird, the Orcust engine does that super well. Obviously, if this is in your graveyard, you can banish it to start your Orcust combos. You can use this in tandem with any danger monster to normal summon it, and then you have both your Fiendsmith engine and your Orcust engine because you have your danger monster and this on the field, so you can go into Moon of the Closed Heaven, and this is sitting in your graveyard for after your Fiendsmith combo, right? Also, the danger monsters turn on Necroquip. Wait a minute. What does Necroquip say? Actually, Necroquip does not activate when you activate a danger monster. I take that back, because a danger monster does not send a card to grave to activate an effect. Nashter does, but not the danger monsters, so I take that back. But you can still use the danger monster plus this on the field to go into your Fiendsmith engine and your Orcust engine. And the same thing works with like Cyber Dragon and this going second. So one Girsu, one Nightmare, one World Wand, one Symbol Skeleton. So I wasn't playing this earlier because when you start with the Orcust cards, you can do the full Orcust combo without World Wand. You never need this card. However, if you don't start with your Orcust cards, then you need the World Wand. So the reason you would not want to start with your Orcust is because Orcust lock you into darks for the turn. And your Fiendsmith and your Cyber Dragons are not dark monsters. So you're not going to really be able to do a whole lot if you start with the Orcust cards. So we play the World Wand, which is a brick, and this is also a brick. But we play this so that we can get 2.5 interruptions on our opponent's turn with just any of these, right? If we normal summon this, 2.5 interruptions. If we discard this, 2.5 interruptions. If we discard any of these, 2.5 interruptions all day long. So yeah, these are great ways to have a good grind game. That's why we're playing the Orcust engine. It's also just another way to make the Cyber Dragon cards more powerful going first. We play 3 Danger Nessie. The Danger cards are MVPs of this deck. Yeah, I would play more if I could. I have a 50 card list right now. So as you see, we play the 3 Nessie, the Bigfoot, Thunderbird, Mothman, and Jackalope. The idea behind these is that we can go into a rank 8. If we have Nessie in this, that's the rank 8 for Dingirsu. We can also use these foot effects to out any of our opponent's floodgates or anything that's problematic on the board. And then we can search these pretty easy with Nessie, and then we can discard these with Cyber Dragon Nashter. Or you could be risky and try to use the danger monsters to discard them, although that's not recommended. Just discard what you want with Cyber Dragon Nashter. And then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom because I think this format you need to because of the new Mulchummy cards. 3 Cyber Emergency for great consistency. Unfortunately, this card does just lose to Droll and Ash Blossom sometimes, but there's no reason not to play it. It's just a way to, you force your opponent to have those cards, or they just lose. 1 Repair Plant for the combo. 3 Machine Dupe. This card's been good to me so far in testing, although I haven't played a ton of games with this deck. But yeah, Machine Dupe, very strong. Play 1 Fiendsmith Sync for the Fiendsmith engine, 1 Babel for the Orcust engine, and these 2 cards, or this card is combo. This card is a brick. Like, I hate drawing this card, and it sucks that you have to play 4 bricks in this deck, but it's kind of worth it because it makes your Cyber Dragon cards that much more powerful. It makes your Fiendsmith cards, or sorry, your Danger cards that much more powerful. 1 Card Destruction and 1 Foolish Burial for consistency. I was thinking about playing that Grass Looks Greener, but I'm only at 50 cards. So we'll see. Maybe I'll add Grass. I probably should. 3 Talents. This card has been very strong for me in testing so far. I absolutely love it. 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Overflow, 1 Crescendo. Crescendo is sometimes necessary to play. It is another brick, and I'm thinking about cutting this card, but sometimes you can't get into your Babel plays off of just 1 Heart, Horror, and Grave. So sometimes you play this because it is a very strong interruption. So we'll see. I love Overflow though. Overflow is so good. This card is an absolute must play if you're playing this version of the deck because it's so easy to turn it on and get it live, and it's honestly one of the best ways to end on 1 interruption through a Mulchummy because you can just normal summon Cyber Dragon Core, then search for this, then you have at least 1 pop, if not more than 1 pop, ready to go, and you don't have to let your opponent draw any cards if they're using Fuwaros on you or whatever. Now for the extra deck, we play 1 Almirage, 1 Requiem, 1 Moon, 1 Galatea, 1 IP, 1 SP, 1 Longirsu, and then 1 Underworld. Goddess of the Closed World. We play this because we want to make this a really good push going second. Just applies so much pressure. This deck is so good at going second. It's also very good at going first, but this makes Moon of the Closed Heaven a very scary card. That's it for the Link monsters. Now for the Contact Fusion summons. Play Necroquip Princess, Chimeratech Fortress Dragon, and Mega Fleet Dragon. These two are so good. Like, you can not play Cyber Dragon and not play these two. Especially the Mega Fleet, but even the Fortress Dragon has come up a lot for me. It's live against decks like Centurion, it's live against Rescue Ace, but just a bunch of random times your opponent will have like a machine on board, and with the new ABC cards coming out, I'm sure it'll be relevant. Yeah, it's just underrated. It's also a good way to just link summon. You can link summon with it and get your Orcust cards in the graveyard if you don't have a good link target for them. So very good in the grind game. It can also just like randomly become bigger than any of your opponent's monsters, and you can just swing for outing an opponent's monster with it. 1 Wave King Caesar, and then of course Nova, Infinity, and Dingirsu. The MVPs of the extra deck for sure are these two monsters. Super, super powerful. It makes this deck so good at killing your opponent's resource pool because you can outmost things with this. And then Infinity allows you to attach a monster as material, and you can just leave it under there forever, so that way your opponent doesn't get that monster back. Dingirsu can protect these from being destroyed by battle or card effects, as well as your Wave King Caesar, of course. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think of the deck. Maybe you can try it out, or maybe you've already tried playing a deck similar to this, and you guys have some tips for me to make this deck more consistent. I would say the one thing about this deck is I hate playing this many bricks. How can I stop from playing 4 bricks in this deck? I feel like that's a necessary evil, although I might just be coping. Maybe I can always get to this, I'm not sure. Let's see, what are my other bricks? World Wands, this. These are the only cards I generally don't want to see in my hand. There are some times where it can be nice, like to open Babel, and my opponent, stops my Galatea from going through, but I still have the Babel anyways. But that's obviously a very weird scenario, and you don't want to ever have that happen ideally. So yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your opinions and thoughts on how I can improve this deck. I've gone to 2 locals with it, and I haven't lost yet, but they were smaller locals, and I only played a few games at each of them, so not the greatest sample size of competition, but so far so good. But hopefully we can improve this for YCSs and regionals coming up in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, duel on.